Welcome to BAM, Badass Moms with Lori and Jenny. We are moms on a mission to share women's stories about life, fitness, aging, relationships, travel, and much more. Hello, friends, and thanks for listening. I just wanted to take a second to give you a quick reminder about subscribing to the show. If you have not already, just take a moment and do so. This will make sure that you never miss a daily bite or an upcoming episode. And in addition to that, if you have a few extra moments and like to drop us a review, we'd really appreciate it. And there's also a sponsor of the show located at the bottom of all of our episodes. Once again, thank you for listening. Thank you for being badass. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us on another episode of the BAM with Lori and Jenny. Today, we are super excited to be talking to each other. So we thought we would take a moment and kind of just do a recap. Jenny and I have now been doing this podcast for how many months has it been?
Since August.
Since August. Okay, since August. And so we want to kind of just chat about like all the amazing guests we've had on the show, what we've learned, what we're currently doing, what we're looking forward to. So we just want to take a little bit of time today and just kind of chat with each other.
And one thing I think that it's just, we love talking to each other. Like even when we're not talking on the podcast, we do talk to each other quite frequently. So I think for me, it's just been so fun. It's been fun for us to just be able to partner up on this and find people to chat with. And we're both genuinely pretty curious people and we love chatting with people and forming relationships. So that part's been super fun.
Yeah. And I think all the amazing people that we've met and that have like really honestly just come out of like referrals from other guests we've had, just having them on the show and learning about them has been so fun. And Jenny and I, like we've always said, every person, every woman, every mom has a story. And we have felt so lucky to have some just amazing women on the show that have such amazing stories to share. So that's been a ton of fun.
It's funny too, because people always say like, well, I really don't have anything that exciting, or I don't really have an interesting story. And every single one of them has had an interesting story. And like every interview we're on, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know that we can top this. Like they're all so fun and they're all like fascinating, whether it's, even if it's, we've got like authors that have written a ton of books, and then we've got, moms that are battling through day-to-day stuff, but all of the stories are just like incredibly inspiring, and they all touch you in a different way. So has there been one, Lori, that just kind of got you more than the others?
I think they're all amazing. Every single person we've had on the show. I mean, I will say Allison, who we recently interviewed, that's your neighbor, and that's dealing with her kiddos and a very rare eye genetic disorder. It really hit home to just, the shit that people are really dealing with. That's, we all have, like Jenny said, we all have our challenges, but, some of us have a lot bigger challenges. Right. And so it was really refreshing to talk to her and see how she's balancing everything in her life. And, I'm just so, excited that we can help, spread the word and get, and that's for everybody's, stories and things they may need help with, or, I think that's what I really enjoy about doing this the most is just, being able to share what people are going through. And if there's an opportunity that other people can come together to help those people, getting it out there. What about you? What about you, Jenny?
There's Allison's and Heidi's both. Heidi was the mental health. Those both kind of like got me a little bit emotional. Like that's the closest I'm not a crier. You know this about me. Those were the ones that got me the closest to tears. The one that, again, like it's so hard to pick. It's like picking a favorite kid. But Kim Rahir, 60-year-old weightlifting Olympian, she found us. I don't even remember how. I think she found us online, but she is incredible. Like the journey, like her health battle, and then just deciding that she was going to make her body work for her. Like I think I just loved the mental shift that she did, and then she's stronger than she's ever been at 60. And, you see more and more women that are becoming stronger and stronger as they age. And that is just incredibly inspiring to me. So she's one that stood out. And then Paula, who's actually, I met her at the gym. I stalked her at the gym, and she's what is she, 60? I don't even remember how old she said she was. She's in her 60s. And she's just amazing. And she's just this ray of sunshine that gets other people involved in fitness. And I don't know, it's just, those are the ones that
There's
are
so
just
many. And then you just made me, when you said sunshine, you just made me think of the lovely Melissa that we had on the show very early on, and how she wrote a book about her daughter and the horse, and, you know, going through, you know, the medical things that she had to go through with back surgeries. And just, it's just, you know, every single woman has just been so amazing. And, you know, we are absolutely looking forward to all the upcoming amazing guests we're going to have on our show. You know, one of the things that I think, you know, Jenny and I really wanted to do when we were creating this podcast is to build a community, which I think we're doing, of, you know, people that support one another. That was one of the things that broke my heart when I closed my fitness studios, was, you know, the community that I had built, I feel like kind of, you know, dispersed. And that was one thing that I wanted to really find again. And I think doing this show is really, you know, given us the opportunity to create our own community of badass moms. So that's been really fun.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, as we were kind of talking about the guests and the things that kind of touched us, it makes me think of the ones that are the most vulnerable. You can tell, you can feel that, you know, and the ones that are willing to share, like the shit they've gone through, the good, the bad, the embarrassing, whatever, you know, and it's helped me be more vulnerable and share things that I might not have shared previously. And that has helped me move through things a little bit easier too. So I don't know. It's been awesome.
They've taught us, right? From their journey. They've, you know, from acts of kindness to, you know, just really being able to look at life in different perspectives, I think is really been amazing. So currently, let's talk about us now, because, you know, so what are we currently doing? Let's start with you, Jenny. Where are you kind of in your life? What's going on? What do you got on tap?
So in the last 2 weeks, I've had 2 kids graduate, one from college, one from high school. So big changes there. My older daughter, she already is in Telluride rafting for the summer. She's she leads a rafting team for a raft company out there. So she'll be doing that for the summer. She's really excited and in her happy place. And then my younger daughter, she leaves for camp where she'll be a summer camp counselor. So we will be empty nesters for the most part this summer. And then my younger daughter will go to Flagstaff for Northern Arizona University in the fall. So I'm trying to wrap my brain around what it's going to be like trying to remember all the things that we used to do before we had kids. And we're pretty active. So I have a feeling we'll be outside a lot. And then of course we launched our business. Like I launched my HR business a little over a year ago. And so I'm excited to really buckle down. We've had a lot of great success just through referrals, which has been amazing. But now I feel like I've got more time so I can do more things and maybe do some stuff with the community. So I'm excited about that stuff. And I'm also like sad that my kids are gone, you know, like this phase of life is over. And it's once they start high school, and I know I've said this to you, Lori, but it's like boulder just running downhill and it just picks up speed and goes faster and faster the closer it gets to the bottom. And so you try to soak everything up the last, you know, little bit of time you have. But yeah, that's kind of crazy just to wrap my brain around that.
No, but that's where, you know, it's a very, very good reminder, you know, seeing your girls where they are now and seeing how fast that they've grown. I think Jenny and I now have known each other for 8 years or so. Like Jenny met me, I think, right as I was pregnant with my son, who is now 7. And just seeing like, and both of our kiddos were at home, and, you know, it's just in a blink of an eye. So I'm trying to really, you know, take a moment and take a breath and really enjoy every single moment I can, because the next thing you know, they're graduating. And it's funny, you know, although my stepson's going to be a junior and still has 2 years left of high school. Like, I mean, I feels like just yesterday he was at elementary school, so I'm really trying to soak it in with my younger one. So yeah, what do we have on tap? We have some pretty nice travel coming up ahead of us. We're heading to Italy here soon. Looking forward to that big trip. It's a big family trip that we kind of had to put on the back burner when COVID happened, but we're making it happen. So we're really excited. I always find that, traveling, it just, no matter if you've been somewhere before, it always opens up your eyes to just how big the world is. And it's so exciting to just see, your kids experience what it's like to go to different locations. And so very excited about that. What else do we have going on? I actually just kind of took on a full-time position at a company. So, going to see how I can juggle all the things while working and having summer here. So we'll see how that goes. But as always, I'm a fan of you take a path, and if paths don't work out, you switch to another one. So nothing is ever 100% like you have to make that your decision and go with it. So just looking forward to, spending as much time with my family this summer. And yeah, just continuing to always, keep opportunities open for, passions that, what I want to explore, and hoping to ride bikes more with Jenny. Hopefully,
yes.
I can get out a little more and do that. But Jenny, so moving forward with the podcast, what are you looking forward to? Kind of maybe give our listeners a little glimpse into, what we got coming up.
Yeah. So I have a couple of people that I've had in mind that I would love to invite to be on the show. We'll see if they actually do join us. But one of them is a financial podcaster that she was actually the first podcast I started listening to. She has a show called So Money, and her name is Farnoosh Torabi. She's also an author, and she writes about finances. And I actually, I love personal finance. And so I listen to a ton of personal finance podcasts. So I'm going to ask her if she'll be on the show, and we'll see if that happens. So
love that.
Stay tuned for that. So I'd love to do something on that. I'd love to do, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I like some of the things that have been really cool is like we've covered travel, we've covered fitness, we've covered health and eating disorders. And I mean, there's so many different things.
Mental health. Yeah. I mean,
so much out there that whenever there's a topic that I'm interested in, I'm like, we got to get somebody on the show for that.
Well, I'm so excited that the guests that we've had on the show, they kind of pop up. And like you said, it's been such a flattering variety of people's journeys that it's almost like some of the people we've had on the show, we would have never even thought of seeking out a particular topic or person. And we've been so lucky. So I'm really looking forward
comedians and
absolutely
like Pam and Barbara. I mean, just like so
that's
cool.
Right. We had the actress. Oh my gosh, it was just
voice actor. I mean, yeah, and because I think, and it's probably a little bit my recruiting and HR background, but I love hearing about people's professions. I know they tell you don't ask what people do for a living because, but my reason for asking what people do for a living is so different than I think that most people think about, right? I just am so curious, what it's your
story, right? It kind of all totally. What they do. There's a story. It doesn't define who they are, but there's a journey that got them to where they are. So it's kind of like unraveling it, right?
Yeah, totally.
So I think, and I think we were just talking about this on a podcast we had the other day about, how when you go and you get your education in school, it may not be exactly, what you do as you get older, but it plays a part, right? I like to think I got a degree in journalism, and look, we're doing a podcast.
I know. See, it all came back around. And how many years ago was that? You don't have to say.
Before there was actually podcast.
I know. Well, and when I was a kid, I mean, I still have audio tapes where friends of mine, we would sit and we would do on the giant ghetto blaster. We would record ourselves doing radio shows. We did a wrestling match one time.
Oh, totally.
And I can't even play them anymore. They probably disintegrated. I don't have anything to play them, but so yeah, I guess I was just practicing for this.
Oh yeah. Well, I used to pretend I was a radio DJ. We would record on our cassette tape songs, and then my friends and I would sit around and pretend that we're up next is.
Yeah, totally.
So, it all plays a part. So yeah, I think, really we are just so excited of, what the future holds. And, we're so appreciative that everybody that's tuned in to listen to the show or, told their friends about us. We absolutely appreciate that. And, we're just looking forward to continuing just having fun. And I think that's really, what Jenny and I love best about doing the podcast is, once again, meeting people, diving deeper into their stories and just having fun and having casual conversations, right? So we are with summertime, and we hope you all do also, going to take a little bit of a break. And in our break, because Jenny and I are kind of like squirrel, like we have a plan, but sometimes it always changes. We are going to take a little bit of a break, but we will probably casually throw out some daily bites here and there. You might get an episode, but our consistency might be a little less throughout the summer months, but we're hoping to really kick it in full volume come August. So if you don't hear from us on the podcast for a week or two, we did not disappear. Then you might hear from us like 3 times on a daily bite.
Exactly.
That's how our brains work.
That is exactly how our brains work. We value flexibility. So You're just going to be on the ride with us.
Exactly. And it also actually, as listeners, gives you an opportunity. If you missed an episode, go back and listen. Or if there was one that you loved, go back and listen again, right? I think you can always take something. So I think it's a great opportunity to really do that if you want to go and kind of go through our catalog of all the people that we've had on the show.
And on that note too, if you like something, please feel free to share it. We love that. Again, one of the things that we want to do is get all these stories out there. So, and we can do that by having you review, rate the show, and share it. So we would be super grateful.
And we do have a website where you can go. It's called bampod.com. If you are interested in being on the show, please reach out. We'd love to book a time with you. Or once again, if you have a referral of someone that you think would be a good fit for the show, please let us know.
Okay. So as Lori said, lots going on this summer. You'll hear from us here and there back in August. And in August, you will hear all the adventures that we've encountered over the summer.
Yes.
Probably including sending my daughter to college. And so, stay tuned for all of
those too. And I'll make sure to give an update from, my international travels, because I feel like there's always stories that come along with, leaving the country. Usually good, sometimes bad, but
keep a journal, Lori.
Yes, absolutely. Once again, thank you all for listening. Keeping badass. Take care.